I was really anxious when I first walked through the door.
When you're very distressed, you have very, very negative thoughts.
Waking up in this deep, dark pit that you have to crawl out of.
My family and friends are very helpful, but they don't really understand.
Scary, because I didn't know what to expect and didn't know who the staff were going to be.
People's first experience of mental ill health or a breakdown can be just terribly bewildering and confusing, and people can feel terribly frightened. In a way, that's where we can do most to help, and people can begin to find their way around services and get help that they will need. Getting help early is just so important. It can really help stop problems building up and can really help in the long run.
When I became ill, I was living on my own in Manchester, and I didn't know about mental health at all. I didn't know what depression, severe depression was. I didn't know what mental health was, and I actually had to move back to Oxfordshire to live with my parents. I was too ill to go for a while. It was a big thing to go the first time. So I think gradually my mum helped me through that. Actually, she kind of reassured me that it was a nice, safe place where people understood.
Well, I didn't know what to expect actually, but I came along and I was made to feel very welcome.
I think what's important about Mind is the fact that it is a very open, friendly organisation. People are encouraged to come in and they can find all sorts of interesting things to do, but they can also get the help and support that they need to do some of the things that they find more difficult.
And without their support, I would have been lost, you know.
We will always meet people at the door. We will come down the road to meet them.
Before Mind, I felt that I didn't have many people to turn to or to talk to. Now that I've joined Mind, I've got a whole new set of friends, and I feel much happier and more confident and more self-assured.
There's people who have suffered a similar experience, so you can kind of relate to them and you can sort of empathise with each other, and you kind of have this mutual understanding about what mental health is, about what depression is, and about, you know, things like psychosis and sort of schizophrenia and things that in society aren't really sort of talked about. So you can go there and feel sort of secure in this sort of mutual understanding. Sometimes friends just don't really understand about what mental health is. So it can be quite hard to get support from people you already know.
The people at Mind definitely understand what your situation is much better than I've ever found anywhere else.
I think Mind's actually very good at bringing out people's skills and recognising people's skills.
And that was an amazing thing for me, that there were people in this world who felt that I had some value.
They enable you to do things. They put things in front of you so that you can say, yeah, you can make a decision, but they don't pressure you to do anything. Once you've made your decision, they'll help you with what you need to progress within that decision.
I went on quite a few courses about assertiveness, about anxiety management, how to manage depression, and even one about CBT. That sort of course helped build up my confidence and self-esteem.
That's another reason why I've joined a Black and Asian men's group, just to learn to cook meals and get on with other people and socialise.
It's kind of remembering to do things that people used to do before they necessarily had long periods of illness, and connecting them back into kind of community resources and doing things which they may have kind of fallen off doing for a few years. So it's kind of reconnecting people with, you know, who they feel themselves really to be. They get to meet people, and we're hoping to do a lot of sporting activities as well. So there are lots of benefits for people for being part of this group.
It has always been a place where you can be safe, because it's something you do and it comes from all what's good and creative and positive in you.
Being able to work in the cafe, and a couple of weeks ago I actually cooked the special and served that, which was really nice to know that lots of people were eating what I'd cooked. On a Tuesday, it's nice to feel like you can still be useful, and like it feels a bit like you might be able to work eventually, because when they're doing the cafe, it feels a bit like you're working, and they make you feel like you're a worthwhile person.
I think the jobs that we have can encourage people to go off and do other jobs.
Yeah, I used to take the money basically. The customers would go and order their food, and I used to take the money for that really. I managed to get a part-time job with Oxfam. I moved to Waitrose full-time.
It's very empowering to enable people to go out into the community and do other things.
One of the worst things that can happen to people experiencing mental health problems is people give up, people lose hope. The experience of depression, for example, people can make people really have no sense that things are going to get better. But we know from our experience, we know from the people we work with the people we see, that actually people do recover, people go on and live meaningful lives, people get back into work, people go on and maintain friendships and keep contacts with family.
I think that the main sort of step on the ladder is talking to someone about it.
Give it a try before you rule it out, and then if it's not for you, it's not for you, but I don't think it would be out of place for anybody.
And they're really nice people, and they'll find it's a wonderful place to be.
Don't be shy, don't be afraid. We're all here to help you.
Please do, please try and get the courage to come.
People talk about mental illness like it's a life sentence. It isn't. People get better, people recover, people go on and do amazing things and live full lives. There's a lot to be optimistic about.
Well, for someone who is struggling with a mental illness, I would just say try Mind.
I want you to know that you're not the same old girl. You're holding me back now, 'cause I'm still in love with you. Staining my clothes like chains that hold you down. Cling to me, it makes me cold, that it wasn't meant to be. But don't let me go, feeling good now. Don't let me go. I want you to see